How many? Everybody has joined, Neha?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, we are 87 participants.
All right. So the second part of this program is about learning only, but let's see what is the next perspective we are looking at. This is about learning to learn powerful mental tools. The screen, everybody? Is the screen visible to everybody?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Visible, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
I was talking about chunking in the first session. So what exactly is chunking and how does it help us to learn better? It's a mental leap, which means that whatever you're learning at whatever pace you're doing that, with the help of the process of chunking, you can have a greater amount of retention power and a greater amount of learning can be done. And how is it done? It's by making connections of various pieces of information together, just like solving a puzzle. A puzzle which may have many pieces, and when you join them, you make a big picture. That is what the chunking does. And the 3 steps in chunking are focus, practice, and repetition. So let's quickly talk about that, how we can make chunk of any information. Let me ask you, my dear participants, how do you memorize the mobile numbers? Can anybody share? How do you memorize mobile numbers?
By analyzing the pattern.
Give an example. How do you?
We may understand the sequence of the numbers and then memorize it.
Okay. How many of
In
you?
the group of 4, 2, like if it's a mobile number, then first 4 digits, then 4 digits and 2 digits, like this also at times.
Yeah, you can group them, Aarti. Yes.
And ma'am, making connections, like the last 4, I'll connect to my birthday or my house number or something like that. So some connect in the...
Some connection.
Yes.
Exactly.
And we are able to just memorize the simple ones. 9999 and then 2 digits, and then we are able to memorize it.
With a lot of zeros are the simplest.
Yes. So people have different ways of remembering mobile numbers. How many of you are able to recall, even if I ask you now, at least 5 mobile numbers? Only one? Any more? Okay, 2. So Neha, how many people are raising hand? Many can do that more. Many can do more than.
No one has raised the hand. They are just raising. Yes, ma'am. Aarti Mittal, Sunatha Sharma, myself, Neha.
Oh, wonderful. So that means you already are doing chunking. And you memorize the songs also by chunking. When you break a task into small pieces and you master the pieces and then put them together into a larger chunk, that is how learning is chunked. By looking for connections, looking for associations, looking for mnemonics. There are a lot of ways. Some people are not good at recalling names. And some people are very good at remembering names. They would have met somebody 20, 30 years back. The moment they recall the face, they recall the name. And there could be others who would not be able to remember many names at all. So how do you remember names? Would you have any scheme, any plan, any strategy to remember names?
And first of all, we should try to call the person by his or her first name. So when we are speaking the name again and again, we might be able to put it in our memory. Also relate it to something like Shilpi. If the name is Shilpi, then some Shilp Kala if she is good at, or so we can remember like that.
Yes, absolutely.
Many a times we also remember children by batch. Acha, you tell me which batch you are from. Ma'am, that one, the famous child was in that batch. Then we recall, acha, you are that child, and like this as well.
तो वो बता देगा हाँ जैन सर बोल रहे हैं, जस्ट बिकॉज ऑफ कॉन्सेंट्रेशन की उनका उस समय कॉन्सेंट्रेशन उस पर ही रहता है. सपोज वो कहीं जा रहे हैं, एक बार वो कहीं स्टेप्स चढ़ते हैं, उनको याद रहता है कि इसमें इतने स्टेप्स है, तो जस्ट बिकॉज ऑफ कॉन्सेंट्रेशन वो सिर्फ उसी चीज में कॉन्सेंट्रेट करते हैं. आई थिंक concentration is most important.
So it is very interesting, Naveen. Everybody has different ways. Aarti has another way. Rekha has one more way of doing things. Everybody has a different way. I'll tell you that how we make connections. Just an example. It's a real example. My mother has a lot of friends, and when she calls their names out, I just can't place them, that who's which friend. So I thought that, every time I've been asking, but who's that? I can't remember. So then what I've done now, when I meet them now or see them, I try to connect them with something. There is one name, which is a very common name. But I could not remember this name with the person. I thought that I will not be able to remember. So many friends. If she has 20 friends, how will I remember everybody's name? But I had to remember because I didn't want her to feel disappointed about it. So there is a friend who, whenever I saw her walking, I look at her and I look at the clothes she wears and how she looks like. And then I said, oh, she is, she's exactly like how a typical traditional Indian woman of this country will look like. So her name is Sudesh. So I remembered her by the name Desh. कि हमारे देश में ऐसी ही महिलाएं, उस जमाने की महिलाएं ऐसी ही होती हैं. अब वो मुझे कभी भी मिल जाती हैं तो मुझे याद रहता है कि उनका नाम सुदेश है, सुदेश आंटी. तो ऐसे करके मैंने कई लोगों के नाम याद रख लिए. सुदेश नाम याद हो गया है मुझे, एक मीना नाम याद हो गया है, लक्ष्मी नाम याद हो गया है. ऑल दीज नेम्स आई एम एबल टू रिमेम्बर. सो उनको एसोसिएट कर करके, वो जो एक लक्ष्मी है, अब लक्ष्मी कॉमन नाम है, लेकिन ये कैसे याद रहेगा कि ये इन्हीं का नाम लक्ष्मी, वो जो 20 दूसरे लोग हैं उनमें से इन्हीं का नाम लक्ष्मी है. सो आई थिंक ऑफ हर. देन आई से कि one day I saw her wearing an extraordinary beautiful suit, a Punjabi suit. So it was so pretty, it was so beautiful. I said, इसको खरीदने में तो बड़ी लक्ष्मी लगी होगी. तब मुझे कभी नहीं भूलता कि ये तो लक्ष्मी है. तो मुझे याद है कि ये लक्ष्मी आंटी हैं. So how, this is a small example of chunking, that you associate people with anything. और जितना आप उसको कॉमन अपनी रोजमर्रा की जिंदगी के साथ कनेक्ट करेंगे, उतना ही आपको वो लोग याद रहेंगे. So that is one way. People make groups, people make batches, people make color combinations, people make all kind of things to remember. You might have seen that there are many big companies, when they advertise and they put their mobile number, their mobile numbers are very memorable because they make it easy. I can't remember, but which particular company had only 44444, and I thought it was so easy to remember. So this is how the companies also try to make recall value very easy, by getting into the mind of the customer, by getting into the system of the market. This is how chunking is
It was just dial 88888.
Yes, just. So ladies and gentlemen, there are many illusions which we might have. We might think that this is the best way of learning, but we must remember which is the illusion only, which is something which is not true, and that is illusion of competence, which means only continuing to read, reread, revisiting passively will not be of any use. and no use of repeating the text again and again. If you have already mastered it, there's no need to go on repeating it. If you haven't mastered it, but you're trying hard and you're not able to do that, give it a break and then take it later on. Making of concept maps and diagrams also doesn't help, not necessarily. A lot of people think on the contrary. They say that whenever we make a concept, we make a mind map of that. And with the help of the mind map, we are able to get the hang of the particular thing. Not necessarily again. There are very different ways, there are many different ways of having a competent way of learning. So we should be mindful of those ways of learning which are useful to us. So how do we chunk? Have a quick glance at the whole chapter. Tell your student, you are going to understand this chapter. Read it, not thoroughly first, just look at it. Go through the pages, have an idea what this chapter is like, how many headings it has, how many number of pages, and what kind of text is written. Look at the bigger picture. Look at the very big picture. Then focus your attention on some aspects of the chapter, which you can remember were discussed in the classroom or which is of any particular interest to you. You focus on that. Then understand the text. Nothing better than understanding the text. Any text which you understand, you don't forget. There are some concepts, teachers, which I learned as a student. And earlier also, many of the participants have said that, Arup also said the same thing, that what we learned when we were in school, either we understood it very well or the teacher taught it very well. But regardless of what was the reason, you remember that because you understood it. So practice of that text up to a certain extent is helpful, and creating a strong memory. How to make that strong memory? That is the whole idea. I have experienced something which is a very commonplace incident. Many of you might have seen it. Sometimes I just get up from my place where I'm sitting or working. I go to the refrigerator, I open it, and suddenly I wonder, why had I come to the refrigerator? What did I have to take out from there? Has anybody experienced this?
What happened?
Many
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. Many times.
Many times.
Many times. Okay, many times you've experienced it. But does that mean that you have forgotten, or are you becoming forgetful? Sadhana, what do you have to say?
I asked my kid why I'm here. Tell me, please help me out.
Okay, yes. And and so many times you are just leaving. I mean, you are just leaving from the house and going to the market, and you know that you have to buy something. By the time you reach there, you've forgotten it. So you make the list of things, or you know, sometimes you tell your mother, okay, when I'm in the market, I will give you a call, tell me what is to be bought, otherwise I will forget. Sometimes you forget in minutes. In minutes you forget. So this is a very common thing. That means we are not able to chunk very well. Chunking is definitely required for anything. When you go and buy groceries, and if you don't make a list, how do you remember? If there are 10 things to be bought, how will you remember? It's a small everyday exercise, but helpful for you to help your students to understand and learn better. What is your way of remembering?
Ma'am, I always make a list before going to buy the grocery in the market, because when I used to go without making a list, I always forget one or two items. So nowadays I have put it a note on the fridge side by. Immediately when I remember one thing is left, I note down there, and when we go to the market, when I go to the market, then I pick up that list and bring the grocery. Okay. So this is the way by making a list, I can remember.
So Ramanji, that means you are dependent on the list.
Best part is that you go to the market and you buy some other things which actually you wanted to buy, you forget those things, you buy something else and you come back and then you say, oh my God, the actual things I've forgotten.
All right. So what, now let me tell you, let me share my way of remembering things. For instance, I have to go and buy groceries and there are 10 things to be bought and I have lots of other things which have to be done. So I might forget. So what I do is I try to recall on the basis of the place that is around me. So I reach the grocery departmental store and I say, okay, when I open the door of the drawing room, there's a chair. And on that chair, we have specially kept a chair there where the housemaid comes every morning and she keeps her bag and then she does her work and again picks up her bag and leaves. So I remember, okay, is there anything related to the material that the housemaid had asked me to bring, the cleaning agent or the detergent? I remember that. Then after that, there's a dining table. On the dining table, a lot of things are kept. And particularly, I know that I sit there and I have my lunch there or dinner. So I ask myself on that, then I continue to walk through the drawing room. Was there anything which I had to buy related to my food, which is to be eaten every day? So I remember, oh, that particular dal had finished and I have to get those, or vegetables had finished. Then I continue to walk further. Then there is a lounge chair on which I relax and watch television. So I said, how do I associate it? I again associate it with the dinner time. So, or my tea time. So I remember anything related to teas to be bought. Then I look at the sofa. The sofa is for watching television. So there I try and recall anything which I need, which is based with the TV news or related to that, any medicines. You know, nowadays you only see the medical information. So any medicines that we bought or anything to be bought. This is how I keep on remembering things. I associate them with places. I associate a lot of people's names with either the film actors, the film stars. I remember them through those songs, those beautiful movies. And I remember, you know, a lot of things with, like even sometimes I remember their clothes. I remember, you know, that Giorgio Armani, for example, who wore a Giorgio Armani suit. So I remember that. So this is how you remember these things, by chunking them, associate them with things. I can recall out after this meeting, after this discussion, a two days discussion, I will be able to remember a few more names of the said schools. For example, Rekha's name I remember for long because I have been interacting with Rekha earlier, and Rekha also happens to be one of my sister's names, so I will not be able to forget that. But there are a lot of other people I will be able to recall. Jaise ki Naveen. I had never met Naveen, and I started meeting him only during the Zilla Khan's workshop. So how do I remember Naveen? Naveen is the word Naveen is related to song, you know, a beautiful song, you know, and that I remember a song sung, shown in the movie in Bombay. So I remember Naveen with that, and then I just, for a very short duration, I interacted with Sadhna, and I might remember Sadhna by the film actress I'm very fond of. So I might remember, oh, she was exactly wearing the sari the way Sadhna wore. Now I remember in the movie Wo Kaun Thi, she wore a sari like this. So this is chunking. This is how you will remember chunking. Associate people, associate things, associate material, associate everything. There are something which you never forget. There are people you would never forget, and they will always be living with those amazing and beautiful songs. You will always remember. You will dance on them and you will sing and you will be happy about them because you remember the happy days of your life. And this is what is chunking. So create a strong memory by chunking. There are some best and there are some worst chunks. Best chunks are those for which no effort is required at all. They are strong neural connections in the brain, very strong connections. They will never go away. And they have become a part of your long-term memory. But there are some worse chunks. Worst chunks are those which you make under stress, under fear, under anger. And that is when your mind or the brain is weakest under these extraordinary feelings of emotions. Anything you can tell the students, when you will do anything at the last moment, under stress, under fear, under anger, it will be of no use. It will be of absolutely no use because you will not be able to make strong chunks. You can't remember what you studied for the entire year in last one day of practice. It's a weak chunk. Even if you make a chunk, you'll forget it. So what are the strong chunks? For which no special effort was made, which you liked making. Things which you like, as somebody had said in the beginning, is easy on your mind. Things which you do not like, they put you under pressure. They put you under strain. You don't enjoy that. You start associating that object with unnecessary strain, and you want to get rid of that strain because you don't enjoy that. It doesn't add to you. What adds to you, what adds value to your learning, what adds value to your life, you remember forever. That's how. Make chunks. And what motivates us to learn faster and learn better? When something is interesting, when something has a value, personal value to you, when we know rewards are coming. And what kind of rewards? Not only the board results, not only the board certificate, not only the anything that you might have get appreciation from various people. What are the best rewards? Can I just open this discussion to the participants?
Appreciation, ma'am.
Appreciation is the best award.
Satisfaction.
Satisfaction.
Yes, ma'am.
Both incentive can motivate us, whether monetary or non-monetary. Sometimes we need monetary incentive, like when there is a increase in salary or something else. And sometimes even for teachers, I think I want to say that only the appreciation word of that if you are doing best, if I listen only these words from my superior, then definitely it gives me a lot and give me a new strength to work in a more better way. So this is the incentive which I think everybody requires.
Definitely. I agree.
And when we get the reward of our hard work.
Yes. When your hard work is appreciated, when you feel satisfied, you feel an achievement. I don't know how many people have experiences. Sometimes you create something, an artist makes something, a composer makes a song, a tabla player plays a beautiful tabla in the concert, and then you remember that forever. The reason is it gives you a lot of satisfaction. You feel happy about it. Things which are happy, which are rewarding, which gave you appreciation, which gave you respect, you'd never forget.
Yes.
You never forget those. But when something is having a low value of reward, then you definitely do not have a strong chunk. Strong neural chunks are made with happiness, with excitement, with enthusiasm, not with dissatisfaction, despair, and demotivation. They don't make strong chunks. So please remember that add value to your work. Do good work, not only because you will be appreciated by others, not only because you will feel happy about getting an award, but also do good work because that gives you satisfaction. That gives you an inner joy.
Yes, that makes us happy.
That makes you happy because that is the most expensive thing to buy. Don't you think? The most scarce commodity in the life is happiness.
Sometimes even planting a plant or gives a lot of happiness to us.
Yes.
Maintaining that garden like that. These things also make us happy.
When you see it growing, you feel very happy about it, of course. Now look at this. Just stay at this picture for a while. And it is like, it is science, but it should be good for all of us to see. There's a frontal lobe in the brain, this here. This one. Parietal lobe, occipital lobe, cerebellum, brain stem, temporal lobe. We will not go into the scientific definitions of the brain parts, but if you look at this brain picture, it has billions of neurons. And what are neurons? They're like fine threads.
I will never forget this slide because I associated here with this, the color. The image which you have selected, that is very attractive. And it attracts me a lot that maybe I never forget this slide. That is the long-term in my long-term memory. Automatically comes in my long-term memory.
But Ramanjeet, if you are able to recall this picture after 10 years, then it will become a long-term memory.
Yeah, yes.
You know, as of now, Ramanjeet, it is a working memory.
Working
memory. Because it is, if you will remember after 1 week, fine. After 1 month, all right. After a year also, if it is there, then it is really, it has left an impact on you. Then it is. But what is nice about this picture, Ramanjeet? That itself will be a secret of chunking. The colors.
Yeah. Yes. I'm telling you, because of the color, it attracts me a lot. Immediately, I concentrate on the screen, and I think that I never forget this image.
Yes, so colors are very nice. Yeah. So colors make you. Yes, Naveen.
Names of the different portion. Names of different portion, like back portion, front portion.
Will you remember that?
Yes, ma'am.
Naveen, will you remember these names?
Maybe, ma'am. I'm not sure.
Yeah, because these are scientific names, Naveen, and you may remember them or you may not remember them. These are scientific names. But I think, Naveen, you will still remember the picture, like Ramanjeet will remember.
Yes, ma'am, definitely.
And maybe I will remember the name that we say, it is a chota dimag here, don't hit here. So I will remember cerebellum. Cerebellum, I'll remember this is cerebellum here.
So Rekha, you have already started chunking now. You've already started chunking. Exactly. Ramanjeet has already started chunking. Naveen has already started.
Ma'am, we can associate this with a cauliflower.
Cauliflower, okay, yeah.
मैम सब अपनी अपनी दृष्टि से देख रहे हैं. जैसे मुझे ये अलग अलग गुलाबों के रंगों का एक गुलाब का गुच्छा लग रहा है जिसमें अलग अलग तरह के गुलाब है.
हाँ, ठीक कह रही हैं आप रश्मि, ये फूलों के रंग से भी मिलता है.
And ma'am, walnuts also, like different colored walnuts.
Yeah. In fact, whenever I look at
the mnemonics, FPO TBC.
Oh, okay.
You will remember it. FPO and TBC.
Ma'am, someone is saying it looks like walnut. And walnut is very good for brain.
Yes.
That's the similarity.
Yeah.
Yes.
मैम इमेज एक चीज ऐसा है जो हम किसी के नाम के साथ भी इमेज जोड़ते हैं. जब नए में आ जाते हैं उसके देखने से कैसा है. तो इमेज पहला चीज है जो इमेज अगर आपको याद रहेंगे, अगर वो भी हम याद रखना चाहते हैं, वो भी एक साथ हमारे ब्रेन वो रखना चाहते हैं तभी वो रख सकते हैं. क्योंकि जो हम नहीं रखना चाहते वो हम वॉश आउट हो जाते हैं, वॉश आउट कर देते हैं. जो
आपने अरूप एक बहुत ज्यादा इम्पोर्टेंट बात कही है जो मैं थोड़ा सा एलाबोरेट करके अपने बाकी फ्रेंड्स के साथ शेयर करना चाहती हूँ. आपने ये कहा है कि जो चीजें हम याद रखना चाहते हैं वो याद रहती. ये बिल्कुल ठीक बात. हमारी लाइफ में ऐसी बहुत सारी चीजें हैं जो कि बिल्कुल जिनकी कोई रेलेवेंस नहीं है, जिसकी कोई इंपॉर्टेंस नहीं है, धीरे धीरे करके हम उन्हें भूल जाते हैं. वो हमारे माइंड के स्पेस को ऑक्यूपाई करना बंद कर देते हैं. जैसे अरूप, अगर हम अपने माइंड को एक समझे कि ये एक वेसल है, एक पॉट है, और उसके अंदर सामान रखने की जगह है जो मेमोरीज हैं। हम अब हमारे पास लिमिटेड स्पेस है, उसमें हम अपनी मेमोरीज रख रहे हैं। मेमोरीज तो रोज बनती जा रही है। अब इस प्रोग्राम की ही मेरी नई मेमोरीज बन जाएंगी। इस प्रोग्राम के बाद इस प्रोग्राम की भी नई मेमोरीज बन जाएंगी। मुझे कुछ लोगों के नाम भी याद हो जाएंगे, मुझे ये याद रहेगा कि किसने क्या कहा था, ये भी याद रह जाएगा। तो अब मुझे क्या करना है, अगर इस प्रोग्राम की मेमोरीज का मेरे माइंड को कोई फायदा होता है तो वो मेमोरीज मेरे माइंड में स्टोर हो जाएंगी। अगर उसकी रेलेवेंस नहीं है तो वो खत्म हो जाएगी। इसीलिए धीरे धीरे क्या होता है अरूप, कि हमारी लाइफ से वो सब चीजें खत्म होने लग जाती हैं जिसकी हमारे पास कोई अब सिग्निफिकेंस नहीं है, जिसका कोई वैल्यू नहीं है, जिसकी कोई रेलेवेंस नहीं है, वो हम उसको निकाल देते हैं। अपने आप से नहीं निकालते हैं, वो अपने आप खत्म हो जाती हैं, बिल्कुल अपने माइंड से गायब हो जाती है। और क्या रह जाता है, जो इम्पोर्टेंट है, जो हैप्पी है, जो रेलेवेंट है। वैसे लोग ये बोलते हैं, बड़े सारे लोग, आप लोगों से बात कीजिए, अपने फ्रेंड से बात कीजिए, वो आपको ये कहेंगे जो अच्छी बातें थी, जो हंसी मजाक की खुशी की बातें थी, वो तो मैं सारी भूल गई हैं, और जो दुख की बातें थी वो मुझे सारी याद है। पर मुझे तो ये लगता है कि ये अदर वे राउंड है। जो ज्यादा हंसी की, ज्यादा खुशी की, ज्यादा एक्साइटमेंट की बातें होती हैं वो ज्यादा माइंड में रह जाती हैं, क्योंकि उसको माइंड छोड़ना नहीं चाहता, वो हंसी मजाक की बातें हैं। लेकिन जो थोड़ी दुख की बातें हैं, डिसअपॉइंटमेंट की बातें हैं, अनहैप्पीनेस की बातें हैं, वो धीरे 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 करके अपने आप चली जाती है, उनको हम अपने आप से निकाल देते हैं।
इवन मैम जब हमारा कोई इंटरेस्ट किसी चीज में बहुत होता है, when we are giving the time to that passion or the interest, so we feel that कि tiredness नहीं होती है। हम बहुत लॉन्ग टाइम काम कर पाते हैं उस चीज को लेकर, बहुत लॉन्ग समय तक काम कर पाते हैं और बहुत खुशी के साथ करते हैं। उस समय हमारी मेमोरी भी इंक्रीज होती है क्योंकि वी आर कनेक्टिंग विद द हैप्पीनेस।
एग्जैक्टली।
So I feel कि when I do the music part, when I compose something, so I don't think so कि उस समय हमें आवर्स नहीं याद रहते कि हम कितना टाइम हमने दे दिया या हमने कितनी देर उसको सोचा है, किया है। So because it increase our capability also, or it increase our memory, or it increase our happiness. So tiredness कहीं चली जाती है और वो memory के अंदर इतना लॉक हो जाता है for long term, very long term.
Long term.
So with the happiness also, and with your passion and with your interest also.
I agree, 100%.
Yes, also, ma'am. Piyu ma'am wants to say something. She's raising her hand. Piyu ma'am.
Yes.
Yes, Piyu ma'am.
हाँ, गुड मॉर्निंग मैम। जिस टाइम का मुझे कुछ भी याद नहीं है, जब मैं सेकंड में पढ़ती थी, थर्ड में, लेकिन उस टाइम पे मैंने जो कवित्व सीखा है, जो बोल सीखा है कथक की, या जो भी सीखा है, वो आज तक टोटली याद है जिस टाइम का, और शायद कोई भी बात ना याद, बिकॉज ऑफ द इंटरेस्ट।
And that is the beauty of the brain, that it has the ability to forget. If we are not able to forget, then we'll go mad because there'll be so much stored. That's the beauty of the brain, that it helps us to forget.
Yes. Otherwise, what will happen? There will be a lot of cluttering in the mind. और जैसे आप लोग अपने घर को declutter करते हैं, like nowadays everybody says declutter, निकालो चीजें जो नहीं चाहिए, उनको निकाल के बाहर करो. That is why the brain is also the house. उस brain से आप वो चीजें declutter करो. Remove those which have low value, जिसकी लाइफ खत्म हो गई है, उनको निकालो. कब तक आप पुराने कपड़े पहनते रहेंगे? आपको नए कपड़े भी तो खरीदने हैं, पुरानों को निकालो, so that new clothes can come in the wardrobe. Wardrobe इतनी limited है. आजकल के घरों में, flats में spaces कहाँ हैं? Where is the space? एक कपड़ा नया खरीद के लाते हैं, तो this is a rule I have made. You bring something new, please discard something old. उसको निकाल के बाहर करो. ऐसे ही when the brain works.
Childhood memories are long lived. Learning is 10 times faster in the childhood compared to your older years, because we are multitasking in the older years.
Yes,
so concentration is less.
But we feel ki when we are doing our interest based thing, so we feel that ki now we are younger, so that energy level high that time. Even I'm for example, now right now I am tired. for example. So when we see that ki this is my interest, so I feel now the tiredness is away and the now I am fresh, happy. So that energy increase, so it gives more satisfaction, and it gives the
It depends upon, ma'am, the interest.
yes.
It all depends on interest.
Yes, and ma'am, the
Ma'am, one more thing. This
Yeah.
picture shows like Chandni Chowk की गलियां. वो भी बड़ी कंफ्यूजिंग है.
आप भी नवीन, आपने भी चंकिंग शुरू कर दी है. आपने चीजों को मेमोराइज करना शुरू कर दिया है, किसी इमेज से, कोई प्लेस से, कोई चीज से, ऑब्जेक्ट से. दिस इज हाउ यू कैन टेल योर स्टूडेंट्स कि ऐसे उसको याद करो, किसी भी चीज से कनेक्ट करो उसको. दैट इज इम्पोर्टेंट. पर इंटरेस्टिंगली अभी जिन लोगों ने अपने विचार बताए, दे वर ऑल फ्रॉम वेरियस क्रिएटिव फील्ड्स. कोई म्यूजिक से हैं, डांस से हैं, आर्ट से हैं. बट इसका मतलब ये नहीं है कि बाकी लोग, जो हम लोग जैसे कोर, आई एम अ कोर ज्योग्राफर, रेखा इज अ कोर हार्डकोर सोशल साइंटिस्ट. Rekha, you're from business studies or?
Ma'am, business studies.
Business studies. Yeah, I remember. So I'm chunking it already.
Yes.
So, you know, Rekha, it doesn't mean that we cannot have the same information and excitement that our artist friends can have. Because if I like my subject and you
Yes.
like your subject,
Yes.
then that can become interesting.
Yes, ma'am.
That will take away your tiredness. चारू की tiredness चली जाती है अच्छे म्यूजिक से, नवीन की टायर्डनेस चली जाती है अच्छे कॉम्पोजिशन से. ऐसे मेरी भी टायर्डनेस चली जाती है ज्योग्राफिकल कॉन्सेप्ट से, एंड योर टायर्डनेस विल गो बाय बिजनेस स्टडीज कॉन्सेप्ट्स.
Yes.
So when we are able to associate our knowledge with something of interest, then it will remain there for lifelong. Therefore, my dear ladies and gentlemen, you have seen the brain. You have seen कि चाहे ये चांदनी चौक भी है, लेकिन फिर भी दिल्ली जितना बड़ा तो तब भी नहीं है. ठीक है, तो इतनी जगह में कितना कुछ रखेंगे आप, उसको थोड़ा निकाल के बाहर कीजिए. Remove the memories which have lost their significance. उनकी इम्पोर्टेंस जैसे जैसे कम होती जाएगी वो निकलती जाएगी. उसके लिए हमें क्या करना है? We have to boost our happy hormones. Hormones क्या होते हैं? They are chemicals. They are produced by different glands in our body. And वो हमारी blood stream में चलते रहते हैं. You've heard of dopamine. Dopamine is a feel-good hormone. It helps in learning, memory, sports, etc. You know, there is a lot of scam about dopamine also. A lot of sports people, they are tested for it. कि ऐसा तो नहीं है कि उन्होंने artificially chemicals लेके dopamine levels high कर लिए हैं. So they are tested for that. But sportsmen normally perform better when they have high dopamine naturally. And how do they get the high dopamine naturally? By a lot of practice. वो जितना ज़्यादा practice करेंगे, जितना run करेंगे, उतना ही dopamine high होगा. एक होता है serotonin. Now, what is serotonin? It regulates your mood, sleep, appetite, how much you can eat, how much digestion. Have you seen that when you are very unhappy and very miserable, there are two things might happen. Either you eat too much or you eat too less. Have you seen that? You either lose appetite, आपको भूख लगनी बंद हो जाती है because you are very unhappy. थोड़ा बीमार हैं, अभी बीमारी से उठे हैं, आपका मनी, आपको सब कुछ खराब लग रहा है. और haven't you seen कि जब आप बीमार होते हैं, आपको वो बातें भी याद आ जाती हैं जो आप कब की भूल चुके थे, जो कि आपको लगता है कि उसने मुझे ये कहा, उसने ये कहा, वो इतने खराब लोग हैं. All kind of bad memories come when you are unwell. Mood, that is mood regulation. Serotonin helps you regulate mood. So ये happy hormone है. Oxytocin, it's called love hormone. It promotes trust with people, empathy with people. You bond with people when there is this hormone of oxytocin. And ये कैसे होता है? Oxytocin कहाँ से आता है? Everything, it comes from the natural glands. और इसीलिए हम लोग बोलते हैं ना कि there is a mind, there is a heart. The fact of the matter is, it is mind only. There is only brain. Heart एक only organ आपके blood को pump करने के लिए है और आपको to maintain your living is, it is there. जो sentiments होते हैं वो heart से नहीं निकलते हैं. जो कहते हैं ना कि मैं अपने दिल की बात बता रहा हूँ, आपको लोग कहते हैं मैं अपने दिल की बात कह रही हूँ आपसे. वो दिल की बात नहीं, वो दिमाग की बात होती है। तो ये बात तो आप बिल्कुल भूल जाइए कि दिल से आपके सेंटिमेंट्स होते हैं। हम बोलते हैं, वो बोलचाल की भाषा के लिए ठीक है कि मैं आपको दिल से ये बात बता रही हूँ, नहीं, हम अपने दिमाग से अपनी ये बातें बताते हैं। वो कैसे बताते हैं? इन हार्मोन्स, जो हार्मोन हमारी बॉडी में ज्यादा होता है जिस वक्त, उसके हिसाब से हमारे काम होते हैं। एंडोर्फिन्स क्या होते हैं? ये नेचुरल पेन रिलीवर्स होते हैं। जब बॉडी में बहुत हाई डिस्कम्फर्ट होता है, स्ट्रेस होता है, ज्यादा पेन्स और एक्स हो जाते हैं, तो एंडोर्फिन्स में मदद करते हैं। तो हैप्पी हार्मोन्स को सीक्रेट करने का यही तरीका है कि आप अपनी बॉडी को फुली फंक्शनल रखिए, ज्यादा एक्सरसाइजेस कीजिए, अच्छी हैप्पी एक्टिविटीज कीजिए, सिंगिंग, डांसिंग, म्यूजिक, पेंटिंग, ड्राइंग, रनिंग, ट्रैवलिंग, रीडिंग इंटरेस्टिंग स्टोरीज, वॉचिंग नाइस मूवीज। ये सब चीजें आपके हार्मोन्स को बूस्ट करती हैं। काम तो हम लोग करते ही हैं रोज, काम से तो हमारा लाइवली हो जाता है। अगर हम उस काम में भी कोई पैशन ढूंढ लेंगे, ऑल दीज आर फ्रॉम द पैशन, इफ दिस पैशन कैन कम टू अस, वी शैल बी द हैप्पीएस्ट पर्सन, बिकॉज फिर ये हार्मोन्स बनते रहेंगे और हम हैप्पी होते रहेंगे। सो रिमेंबर दिस, there is no heart, my dear ladies and gentlemen, it is all in the mind, it's all in the brain. So what to do about these hormones? How to increase them? Get outside of the house and walk in nature. Exercise, running, yoga, any exercise. Get some sunlight every day. Look at it, feel it on yourself. Feel that the nature's bounty is coming on you, the beautiful nature. Laugh with people. Be happy, be smiling. Do enjoyable activities. Anything that you enjoy. For example, I enjoy this activity, what I'm doing right now. I'm really enjoying it. So, supposing I had done the same workshop with you, with a serious face, and I do the workshop looking happy and feeling happy, would it make any difference to you?
Yes, of course, ma'am.
Absolutely, ma'am. Smile is always contagious, ma'am.
Yes.
Smile is contagious.
Yes.
Smile is contagious, and a frown is also contagious. Rekha?
Yes.
Yes. If the teacher looks angry, the students suddenly feel scared.
Yes.
आज क्या हो गया? मैम का मूड इतना खराब क्यों? And when the teacher is smiling, then you know, sometimes
smile lightens up the
environment.
Yes, Neeru?
Some smile lightens the environment.
Lightens up your environment, actually.
Yes, it lightens the environment. It makes everybody happy, and you feel comfortable. Everybody feels comfortable. Haven't you seen that when a child is laughing somewhere, a baby is seen laughing, suddenly you start smiling.
Smiling, yes.
Without knowing the baby, isn't it? It's so infectious. It's very infectious.
Ma'am, it's the entire vibe that is created, the body language, the smile, everything, the atmosphere that can actually get people motivated. And that's what we are all very happy today and much at ease.
Actually, smile changes your body language. It actually, the whole energy goes into your body when you smile, and you become more receptive.
You are more receptive.
Yeah.
And if you are, for example, if you're a teacher and you are smiling more and teaching along with it, it'll be easy for your students. An angry face, a frowning face doesn't go well with this kind of activity.
Very true.
So these hormones, what do? They create motivation. They prevent you from getting into depression. They build hope for you. They build optimism. They help in decision making, and they keep you happy. So this is how these hormones have a lot of role to play. So remember this particular slide. Do these activities every day, each one of them. Walk, run, yoga, any exercise, sunlight, laughing, and doing enjoyable activities. फिर आपको कोई artificially hormones लेने की जरूरत नहीं है. How do we enhance our knowledge and gain expertise? Now, this is something which is important. Looks like a serious business, it is, but it really helps. If I'm a geographer and I like reading, I will try not to read anything related to my subject as much as I would like to read about the other subjects. Read a variety of topics. So Rekha, business studies must read something about literature, something about scientific concepts, anything, so that your mind, which is just in the business, one focus, business studies, it gets to learn about the other things also.
I read fiction.
Read fiction, yes, read fiction. It will give you more enjoyment. So keep your mind busy with a lot of activities. That will help you transfer one knowledge into the other domain. Who knows, your literature knowledge may even go into your knowledge of the business studies in some way. Now, somebody is an artist. Artists also read. Everybody has some examples, some favorite things to read. If the artist can start reading something which is the other than their own field, which is other than the field of art, that will go a long way. You must remember that. So read, write, walk, run, exercise, transfer knowledge from one domain to another, and create a library of chunks. So your mind will turn into a library then. It will have a lot of chunks. Keep using knowledge that you acquired in different situations into new situations. That is the best part. You go to a seminar, you go to a conference, even if it is not your subject, but believe me, when you will attend it, you will always come back with something which you had never known before. Don't say, I'm a school principal, what am I going to learn from this? Never. I need to learn myself. I need to exercise my brain. Otherwise, I will get stagnated into my job of the principal. For 15, 20 years, I've been doing only this thing, heading schools. I need to find out different variety of things which energizes me. And two ways how we solve the various problems, tell the students two ways of solving problem. One is sequential, step by step. First, solve one step, go to the next, go to the next, go to the next, logical. And one is holistic intuition. Sometimes it is very important that you understand things from intuitiveness, intuition. It helps you. Somebody said just some time back that there are vibes also, which you just catch from the atmosphere, from the environment you are in. Have you ever seen that sometimes you intuitively feel things which somebody may say, I mean, I've not seen it, I've not heard it. Nobody has told me that. How did I get this intuition? How did I get to know? What is intuition after all? Can you give an example of any intuition that you ever had on something? Yes, please go ahead.
And if somebody looks at you and you get a vibe that he's not looking he's looking as an improper way, or the gut feeling tells you. The children also, even the look tells you that the person is right or wrong.
Yes. Intuition sometimes, see Rekha, you can't explain it logically, but you have this intuition. Sometimes you have intuitions like this and they are actually very powerful intuitions. Yes, Neha?
And even small children can gauge the mood. Even the little ones can gauge the mood, whether my mom is in good mood, whether I should go to her right now or my dad is in good mood. So children also gauge that feeling that the person is not in the right mood to talk to, or I mean that also, even as elders also, we can feel the vibration in the environment, whether it's suitable to talk or it is not. If the person is too busy, you don't get that receptiveness from the person, that the person is ready to listen to you.
कई बार
I
मैं
remember, Neeru, I will, before I go to Neha, Neeru, I would like to give you an example here. As a student, once I met with a teacher, I went to her with some issue, some problem I was discussing, and it must have been very important problem. The teacher was doing something. The teacher continued to do what she was doing. She did not even look at me. And I was talking to her. And I was sitting in front of her. She was sitting on a table. And I told the teacher, can I just take some minutes of yours? She said, okay, sit down. So I sat and I started talking. You can imagine, it must have been a very important matter. And the teacher continued to do her own work. She said, okay, yeah, all right, fine. When I left from there, after maybe 10 minutes, I wasn't happy. You know what? Even if the teacher could not have solved my problem, the teacher could have given me her attention. Teacher could have looked at me while I was talking to her. Teacher could have said a couple of words while she was doing her own work, but teacher did not say anything. And what did I feel intuitively? That I'm going to the wrong teacher. She is not going to solve my problem. Isn't it? Doesn't happen very often in our lives.
Very true. It happens.
You go to a person with all your expectation, with all your hope, and the person is busy doing something, and the person doesn't respond. You feel that, this is not what I wanted to discuss.
Ma'am, if we see from the other side, sometimes the other person is preoccupied with something, or the person has so many things in mind that you are not in a position to answer. Sometimes people listen, but later they call you back and answer your queries. That also happens.
What about that little child who went away?
Yeah, the child went away disappointed. So that's not a good feeling for a child.
And Neeru, the child will not be able to have the same trust again on the teacher.
Child will never forget that. Never forget.
Child will not forget.
Even if you're preoccupied, your body language should show that you are interested in listening to what.
Rekha, that's the point. While the teacher was busy doing her work, she could have looked at the student and said, okay. And she could have said, I'm busy in doing some work, but I want to listen to you. Can we meet again after 10 minutes or tomorrow? The child would go satisfied.
Yes.
Neeru, that is the difference. Tell the child, I am busy, but I will get back to you tomorrow. The child will say, okay, ma'am is busy today, I'll come tomorrow. But the child will be very unhappy when the teacher continued to do the work while the child was talking. And the child will say, this teacher is not going to solve my problem.
And the child carries that impression for life.
This is intuition. This is for life. This is intuition.
Yes.
This is intuition.
Using the right word in the wrong time. Word of encouragement, just one sentence will help out.
Yes, David, one sentence is all that is required.
And
one word, one encouragement, one smile.
Ma'am, not just children, it extends to us adults also.
Yes,
it does. Feel snubbed and put back. I mean, same thing happens to us. We also get that same feeling of intuition of not being accepted or not being allowed. Same feelings, ma'am.
Yes, absolutely.
Ma'am, I have a question.
Yeah.
Ma'am, like we say, when we are around people, when we are physically meeting each other, we have good or bad vibes. But this technology, we are just in front of our screens. How do vibes travel through screens, ma'am?
Very difficult. Very difficult. If supposing I had done the same program with you, all of you sitting in a hall or in circles, and I would have gone talking to you, smiling, touching somebody and, knocking on our head for fun, that would have made a lot of difference. When you would have seen the whole of me there before you, that would make a lot of difference. Right now, what you can do is you can listen to me, you can see me, but I'm trying my best to send positive vibes to you through my talk. But obviously, the impact is limited as compared to the impact I would have had when you were all together with me.
Ma'am, even the voice tone and our smiling as we're speaking, that is also send the positive vibes.
Yes, it
On the
does.
Eye
screen, on the screen.
contact sends the vibes. Eye contact sends vibes.
Yes, eye contact also has a lot of
Postures.
yes.
As ma'am, you rightly said, instead of giving the students bad feeling, if you are not in a mood to talk with someone, at that time you just politely refuse that we will talk tomorrow, or giving something like that, you will get back to you after half an hour. Maybe this can we remove that problem. Instead of giving the student a hard feeling, we can remove them by giving, following this suggestion which you have already said. uh, at that time we need to say that please go back, I will talk you tomorrow, I will solve your problem later on. I think that is the better idea.
Amanjeet, it is very everybody knows about it, that it's not only important what you say in a program, in your class interaction. You have a lot of content to give to the students through your various activities. It is more important how you say it than what you have said. Long after you might have forgotten some things, you would still take time to forget the person who said those things. That is the difference. I might not remember the teacher, what she might have said, I can't remember. The only thing I remember, the look of the teacher, where she was busy doing her own things and she did not even look at me. It was highly demotivating, it was demoralizing. And obviously, after that, I never went to the teacher, because I knew that if I have to go to somebody to ask for any help, then I'm not going to this teacher. We don't want to be that teacher in our lives, where nobody comes to us. That should not happen. We have to remember that. This is
Whether it's child, whether they are students or adults, like everybody sharing, everybody needs love, care, attention, and respect.
You are never too old for love, care, and respect. You are never too young for love, care, and respect.
Exactly.
At any age, respect must be there. Love
Yes.
must be there. Appreciation should be there.
Yes.
And
Purnima ma'am is raising her hand since long. She wants to
मेरे मन में एक बात आ रही थी, पूछ लूं मैम? कुछ बच्चे ऐसे भी होते हैं जो अपने मन की बात नहीं कह पाते, वो चुप रहते हैं, जो बोलने वाले होते हैं वो बोल लेते हैं, जो नहीं बोलने वाले होते हैं चुप होते हैं, लेकिन उनको देखकर, उनकी आंखों को देखकर ये इंट्यूशन होता है कि उनके मन में बड़े सवाल हैं, और फिर जब उनसे आराम से प्यार से पूछो तो फिर अपनी बात कहते हैं. तो मैम ये इंट्यूशन पार्ट भी कई बार वर्क करता है.
बिल्कुल, सब बच्चे एक्सट्रोवर्ट नहीं होते, कई बच्चे इंट्रोवर्ट होते हैं, कई बच्चे बहुत कम बोलते हैं. तो हर बच्चे के से आपको डील करने के लिए अलग अलग स्ट्रैटेजी चाहिए. लेकिन ये आपको हमेशा याद रखना है कि जब कोई बच्चा आपके पास आता है मदद के लिए और आप उस बच्चे को देखते भी नहीं हैं, आप उस बच्चे को एनकरेज भी नहीं करते हैं, आप उस बच्चे को आई कांटेक्ट भी नहीं करते हैं, तो वो बच्चा आपके पास कभी नहीं आएगा. दैट यू हैव टू रिमेंबर. बच्चे को भी उतनी ही रिस्पेक्ट चाहिए जितनी की एक अडल्ट को चाहिए. Isn't it? Your teachers की जिम्मेदारी हमेशा ज्यादा रहेगी बच्चों से. That is something which all of us need to remember. Yes, Neha, you were saying something?
No, ma'am. Actually, Purnima ma'am wants to say something. She's raising her hand since.
प्रणाम मैम. एक्चुअली मैंने बहुत पहले हाथ खड़ा किया था लेकिन कोई बात नहीं, आपने इस समय कहा है तो मुझे एकदम से एक वाकया याद आ गया. जैसे अभी मैम ने कहा कि उस समय आप क्या कहते हैं ये इम्पोर्टेंट है. आप किस तरह की, एक होता ना कि आपकी मुद्रा क्या है, उस समय आपके भाव क्या है चेहरे पे, बच्चा वो वाकई में कभी पूरी जिंदगी नहीं भूल पाता. मुझे अच्छी तरह से याद है एक बच्ची जो जब ये स्कूल कुछ दिनों के लिए खुले, 10th और 12th के लिए स्पेशली स्कूल खुले, तो एक बच्ची इतनी परेशान थी और वो पता नहीं उसका चेहरा देख के मुझे क्यों लगा, हालांकि हम भी अपने काम में लगे थे, थोड़ी देर का टाइम वो हमें मिला आराम करने का. जब उस बच्चे से बात की तो लगा कि वो कुछ परेशानी में है. कई बार होता है ना, आजकल बच्चे छोटी सी चीज़ में इतने परेशान हो जाते हैं, मोबाइल यूज़ कर रहे हैं तो वो एक्सेस में हो जाता है, फिर उनको लगता है कि इसके इतने हैबिचुअल हो रहे हैं कि हमें नुकसान कर रहे हैं. और हुआ भी यही कि जब भी वो परेशान हो, फिर एक बार उसने मुझे कहा कि मैडम क्या मैं आपको फ़ोन कर सकती हूँ. मैंने कहा तुम कभी भी कर सकते हो, अगर अभी तुम अपने आप को ईज नहीं फील कर रहे हो, कि तुम्हें नहीं लग रहा कि तुम बात कर पाए, तुम बाद में बात कर सकते हो. ऐसा कई बार हमारे साथ होता है जब बच्चे अपनी किसी परेशानी को रखते हैं और ये बात सही है कि हम किस तरह से डील कर रहे हैं, हम उन्हें देख भी रहे हैं या नहीं, इस चीज का बच्चे पर बहुत गहरा प्रभाव
बहुत
पड़ता है।
गहरा प्रभाव पड़ता है।
और यही एक चीज जरूरी है बॉन्डिंग के लिए। वो बच्चा कहीं भी परेशान होगा, आपके पास होगा। मेरे को लगता है कि शायद जब आप पढ़ा रहे फिर कभी आपको क्रॉस नहीं करता। ये इन छोटे छोटे चीजों का, एज अ क्लास टीचर, सब्जेक्ट टीचर, चाहे कई बार ऐसा होता है हम किसी क्लास को नहीं पढ़ा रहे हैं, लेकिन हमारी उस बच्चे के लिए उस समय क्या भाव है हमारे चेहरे पे, बच्चा ये भी बड़ी अच्छी तरह समझ लेता है कि वाकई में हम ध्यान से सुन रहे हैं या सिर्फ सुन रहे हैं। ये मैटर करता है।
बच्चे की इंट्यूशन को हमें अंडर एस्टिमेट नहीं करना चाहिए पूर्णिमा। हम सोचते हैं कि बच्चे के अंदर क्या इंट्यूशन है, लेकिन बच्चा हमारे चेहरे के भावों को देखकर हमें पहचान जाता है,
पहचान लेता है।
ये इंट्यूशन होती है।
मैम,
अडल्ट्स के पास नहीं होती है, बच्चों के पास भी उतनी इंट्यूशन होती है जितनी आपके पास है।
मैम,
यस सर, प्लीज गो
ma'am,
अहेड।
good afternoon. Yeah, I need some query. I just want to take some tips from you. All along my student life, I was a very shy child. Very shy. I never asked anything to my teachers, even in college time also. So because of maybe my shyness. So now I'm a teacher. So then, what should I do with this kind of children?
Pamba, a lot of children are introverts. There is no doubt about it. Introverts are too many. And these are young kids. So obviously to draw them out of their, way of working, way of living, way of being, you have to build first a trust for them. That if बच्चे को लगना चाहिए कि if the child will go to this teacher, the teacher will look after the child's interest, the teacher will look after the child's views and give whatever encouragement and motivation is required. That trust can be built only slowly. If people take years to build trust, and it is not possible. There are people who have spent years in building bridges of trust. They will always be trusted. They will always loved much more. When you are a new person and the child has just come to you, child doesn't know you, you don't know the child, it will take many years to build such a trust.
Even
You encourage the child. You tell the child that you are important and the child's wishes are done. The child wants some help from you. You give that help to the child, and over a period of time, in some years or maybe some time, the child will be fine with you.
Thank you, ma'am. And ma'am, I think 21 years I've been working here in the same school, Salwan School, and I just deal with lots of special needs children. But these children are very good to me, but sometimes I feel some children are not good, not good. They never try to open up. Like even I can remember my child life, my school life, like this, the same way. I can correlate with them and myself there in the class.
Of course, let us remember every child needs to be respected for his individuality. Every child is not an extrovert. There are any number of children who are highly introverted. That is never a problem. It is not a weakness. It is not a disqualification. It is just a way the child works, or the way the child's brain works. There is no harm in that. But you continue to build your trust associations with the child. That's very important. We now come almost to the end. Just a few things more I would like to discuss with you. That overlearning of the same thing leads to choking. Just like overeating leads to the feeling of getting choked. Similarly, overlearning. When you learn the same thing in such a high amount, such a high dose, your mind gets saturated. There are only a few things which can be done repetitively without getting choked. And that is various forms of art, dances, music, sports. These are some fields in which you never get bored. They will keep you alive, happy, kicking, excited, enthusiastic for all the time. For all other things, put a limit how much you are going to learn in this, because everything in the world you cannot learn. The mind also has a limit of learning. Therefore, My dear teachers, one piece of advice which you can take away from this workshop is that remember to encourage yourself to indulge in an activity, in a hobby, which is very exciting to you. That will keep you younger. That will keep your mind more agile, more active. Otherwise, it will also get choked by overlearning. This is about another concept. Maybe I can discuss it in detail in the next session, practicing interleaving, but I've taken it in bits and pieces with you. What is interleaving? Different subjects, reading about them, learning from them, and joining them to make connections. So geography can be connected with literature. I connect geography with a beautiful poem, with a beautiful play, with drama, Shakespeare, Wordsworth, Robert Frost. It's very easy. Geography with mathematics, about statistics. Geography with business studies, which is one of the easiest things for me to associate. Geography with economics, geography with Hindi. There are a lot of things. So try and interleave concepts with each other to make stronger connections and chunks. From one field to another, continue to build your expertise. Knowing only one thing makes you fall into a familiar pattern. If you will only know one thing, learn many things. Learn languages. Try and learn some foreign languages. If you are a Hindi teacher, learn some English teachers, learn some very good Hindi. And learn anything which is beyond your subject. Keep your mind active. This is a very interesting term, Einstellung. Einstellung is a German word for mindset, which means don't get into the trap of the Einstellung. And that is, find out when you are in a wrong approach to something. Find out the roadblocks to learning. What is it that doesn't help you in learning something? What is that roadblock? Are you afraid of something? Are you afraid of a particular subject? Why? Remove your same old patterns of learning and identify something excitingly new. This we have discussed since the morning. Look for new possibilities. There are many new possibilities of life. There are many new things. Wait for some new optimistic things to happen to you and change the familiar track. Don't be in the same rut day after day, year after year, week after week, and month after month. So even if we have our teaching routine in the school, we go in the morning at 7 and come back at 4 o'clock. From 4 to 10, do some exciting things, which will help you prepare for the next day in school better. Change the familiarity, ladies and gentlemen. So for that, you have to build new habits. Take breaks, do something new. Entertain yourself. Today, as we end, can I have some discussion on this for a couple of minutes from you? That what kind of habit would you learn?
I would love to learn dancing.
Okay. You would love to learn dancing. Wonderful.
I had requested Neha ma'am make me her student, and Charu ma'am, I started just
sure ma'am
to
play harmonium.
Any other thing that you would like to learn, remember?
Painting, ma'am, Sadhana. I want to learn painting.
Painting. Wonderful.
I love to do aerobics, ma'am. Chetan Malik.
Okay. Get into that quickly. Yeah. So break from your routine. And
I would like to learn to play drums, ma'am.
Drums?
Since I was in school, I always wanted to play drums. One day I will definitely.
Of course. And don't let that one day to be delayed. Make that one day happen sooner. Make that one day happen sooner.
Yes.
So this is important, teachers, that you identify what made you happy when you were a child. Find out and get into that hobby and interest. That will help you become a better teacher. That will help you become a better person. And that will help your students learn more from you, because then you will be teaching optimistically. You will be teaching from the side of hope. And that is what is required at the end of the day. So all the best for your learning and breaking from the old patterns, getting into new habits and learning new things. So see you again day after tomorrow at the same time at 10 o'clock. Till then, remember these ideas of learning. Remember these pictures. Many of you have already learned choking, chunking. You have learned interleaving. And therefore,